The sirens are wailing at Firehouse 51, the trucks are polished, the gear's staged, and, the alarm is ringing.
But for the first time in over a decade, the real five-alarm emergency isn't happening in the streets of Chicago.
Not even close. It's happening in the casting office. I mean, the camera stopped rolling, the contracts were shredded, and suddenly the station was just empty.
And we aren't just talking about trimming the fat here.
No, they gutted the house. 3 stars axed, a chief on the run, and a fandom just in mourning. Hollywood basically declared war on Firehouse 51.
It sounds like a script for a disaster movie, but this is the reality of network television right now. They didn't just write characters out. They've, fundamentally dismantled the roster.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Today we are unpacking the absolute bloodbath, and I don't use that word lightly, that is going on at NBC's Chicago Fire.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today we are breaking down the exits, the shock replacements, and the behind-the-scenes budget wars that are literally bleeding into the scripts.
Yeah, and our mission today is to connect those dots. Because usually we look at casting changes as, creative decisions, an actor's arc ends or something.
Right.
But what's so fascinating here is that the drama on screen is mirroring a very specific economic reality off-screen. This is a season defined by tactical realignment for both the Firehouse and the production budget.
So let's jump right into the headline that has YouTube and Reddit completely on fire. The AXED 3 stars from Chicago Fire Season 14.
And when you first see that, you think, okay, maybe some recurring characters we barely know.
That's what I thought. But looking at the confirmed list, I mean, we are talking about the heart of the show.
We are. The sources confirm 3 really significant departures right out of the gate.
Yeah.
First, you have Daniel Kyri, who plays Darren Ritter.
Oh, losing Ritter is a massive blow. He has been the moral compass of that Firehouse for, 7 seasons?
Totally. But let's look at how he left, because it tells you a lot. His storyline was moving to New York to care for his partner, Dlane, who was shot.
A noble exit.
Right. And it's worth noting that Kyri did come back briefly in Season 14, but it was just to film a proper goodbye. They wanted to give him that happy ending.
Which I think fans appreciated, but still, the character is gone.
Then you have the second major exit, Jake Lockett, who plays Sam Carver.
The brooding bad boy who is just starting to fit in. This one is, it's a bit more complicated, isn't it?
Exactly. His situation highlights a different strategy. In the show, he's left for Texas or maybe Denver. The scripts are a little vague, to work on his sobriety.
But he's not totally gone.
No. He comes back, but only as a special guest star, specifically in Episode 11, Frostbite Blues. It's effectively a demotion.
And this is where we have to talk about the why. Why take a central character and just downgrade him?
Comes down to money and how series regulars are paid. Historically, if you were a star, you were paid for all 22 episodes, even if you were barely in one. It's a huge fixed cost.
Right, the all episodes produced guarantee.
So what NBC is doing is shifting to what they call fractional guarantees. So the main cast might get, say, 18 out of 22 episodes.
But for someone like Lockett, moving him to guest star means they only pay him for the days he's actually on set.
And that gap saves the studio millions across the whole one Chicago franchise.
But it's a nightmare for the writers. They have to invent reasons for people to be gone.
Exactly. Like Ritter going to New York.
Yeah.
It's all to align the script with the payroll spreadsheet.
Which brings us to the third exit, Michael Bradway, who played Jack Damon, Severide's half-brother. That one felt like whiplash.
Oh, totally. They spent all last season building this up and then, poof, written out off screen.
What happened there?
The sources say he actually left to star in a Prime Video series called Every Summer After.
Okay, so better opportunity for him.
For sure. And since his integration into the team was already a little rocky, it seems like the show just didn't have the budget or maybe the narrative interest to fight to keep him.
So, Ritter, Carver, and Damon. Gone, demoted, or just vanished. And the show isn't even hiding why.
No, this is the meta-narrative. They've written the budget cuts into the plot. There's an auditor who literally warns Firehouse 51 that probationary and older firefighters are going to be cut first.
That's not just dialogue. That is a message to the audience about why the cast is shrinking.
It's a mandate across the entire franchise, fire, med, and PD. It's called cast cycling, where even huge stars miss random episodes just to keep the payroll down.
That explains why Mooch was missing in episode 3. I remember seeing that.
Yep. Engine 51 being pulled from rotation.
It's a clever, if frustrating way to handle the economics.
Okay, but if you think losing Ritter and Carver was a blow, you really need to hold on to your helmets.
Because the biggest exit hasn't even happened yet.
The chief is walking out the door, and the reason why is just pure Hollywood chaos.
This is the twist that genuinely caught me off guard. We're talking about Dermot Mulroney, who plays Chief Dom Pascal. He just got there. He just replaced Bowden. To replace the replacement in the same season it's just unheard of.
Well, technically it's a hiatus. That's the official word. The sources indicate Mulroney is exiting after episode 14.
He might come back.
He might at the end of the season, but the scripts aren't finalized. And here's the real reason. Mulroney is filming season 2 of Netflix's The Hunting Wives.
I saw that. It films in North Carolina.
And Chicago Fire films in Illinois.
Yeah.
You physically cannot be in two places at once.
So wait, did the producers not know this? I mean, don't network contracts usually have first position exclusivity?
That's the smoking gun here. It really suggests that Mulroney's casting was always meant to be temporary, or at least flexible.
Like a strategic rental of a star actor.
Exactly. They needed a big name to fill the void left by Eamon Walker. Mulroney was available for a bit, and they likely just wrote the hiatus into his contract from day one.
So how do they explain the chief just disappearing in the middle of a crisis?
The writers are leaning into the political drama. In the show, Pascal is under huge pressure. He's grieving his wife, Monica,
And he made a massive enemy in Annette Davis, the mayor's chief of staff.
played by Annabeth Gish, who was terrifyingly good in that role.
Oh, she is.
So Pascal fought her on decommissioning Engine 51. Now, the speculation is that he might be suspended, or, and this is a fascinating pivot, he might leave to run for public office.
He's going to run for mayor. I would actually watch that spin-off.
Annette even mentioned his folksy charm would fit politics, but it leaves a huge power vacuum.
So who runs the firehouse?
And nature abhors a vacuum. So, enter Rob Morgan, who has been cast as Battalion Chief Hopkins. He debuts in episode 16.
Rob Morgan is an incredible actor, but based on the character breakdown, Hopkins sounds like really bad news for 51.
The profile says he has a haunted past, overseeing other firehouses. But here's the kicker. He's described as quick to exert power and assert authority.
Oh, that's a nightmare for Stellaride and Kelly Severide. They just got used to Pascal, and now they're getting a tyrant.
It's a classic firehouse under siege dynamic. But this time, the siege is coming from inside the office. Hopkins isn't there to make friends. He's there to clean house.
Which lines up perfectly with the whole budget cut theme.
Exactly.
So the chief is out, a tyrant is in. But what about the romance? We've got a new bad boy firefighter causing trouble for Stellaride and a marriage that is just hanging by a thread.
Let's talk about the new blood. With Carver and Damon gone, they needed a new chaotic element. They brought in Brandon Larracuente as Sal Vasquez.
Vasquez, yeah. I've seen the clips. He's definitely got that rebel energy. It's such a shift from his role in On Call.
Oh, totally. Vasquez is a bad boy with a capital B. His backstory is heavy. His dad's a former cop in prison for tampering with evidence, so he has this massive wall up.
Which, of course, creates instant friction with Stella. But I saw there's a specific moment that flips the script.
Yes, Vasquez physically carries Herman out of a fire after Herman's family home burns down.
A huge plot point.
Yeah.
Tragic for Herman.
But for Vasquez, it creates this guilt and respect dynamic. It's a classic Chicago fire trope. The outsider earns their stripes through trauma. But it works.
It sounds intense. But speaking of trauma, we have to talk about Stellaride. Kelly and Stella. The fan forums are just lighting up with criticism, calling their storyline reckless writing.
This is where the fan reaction sources really come into play. The storyline is they're fostering a teenager named Isaiah. On paper, it sounds sweet.
But in execution, it's been incredibly stressful.
For the characters and the audience. Because Stella isn't connecting with the kid, right? Kelly's the fun parent, gaming with Isaiah, bonding.
While Stella is just struggling.
Exactly. And the criticism is that the show threw this plot at a couple who are already drowning in stress. It just feels like too much pressure on the relationship.
It does feel like they're setting them up to fail. But looking at the reviews for episode 10, Carry a Torch, there seems to be a turning point.
There is. A lot of reviews pointed to a specific scene outside Molly's bar where they just admit neither of them are okay.
Oh, I loved that scene.
It was praised as a return to honest storytelling. Instead of manufacturing more drama, they just let them be exhausted and scared. It really grounded the relationship again.
That's good to hear. We all just want them to be happy for like 5 minutes. But looking at the calendar, there is a massive event coming up. The crossover.
the holy grail of the One Chicago universe. Mark your calendars for March 4th, 2026.
March 2026. Okay, what's the disaster this time? A bomb, a plague.
Aviation. A passenger jet goes silent midair. High-stakes emergency, pulling in fire, med, and PD.
Oh, I love a plane crisis. But there's a scheduling shakeup with this one too, right?
Yes. For this event, Chicago Fire is swapping time slots with Chicago Med. Fire airs first at 8 p.m. to kick off the disaster.
Which signals that the inciting incident, the crash or whatever, is going to be huge, and fire is taking the lead on the spectacle.
Exactly.
Okay, so a massive crossover, new characters, drama.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing a but here. Looking at the Reddit threads, the mood isn't exactly celebratory.
No, it's not. There's a very vocal debate about a creative slump, and the complaints are specific. The biggest one, lack of fires.
I mean, it is called Chicago Fire.
Right. Fans are tired of office politics and budget meetings. They want to see buildings burning. That whole auditor storyline, it's realistic, yeah, but is it entertaining? That's the debate.
And the depressing squad room complaint.
That's a direct result of the cast departures. The squad room used to be so lively, with funny meals and banter. Now fans are saying the vibe is just sad and empty.
It sounds like the show is suffering from a bit of an identity crisis. It wants to be this high-octane drama, but the budget cuts are forcing it to be a workplace tragedy.
That's a brilliant way to put it. But to counter that, there was a lot of critical praise for episode 10. The show is trying to mirror that real-world economic pressure. It hurts the escapism, for sure. But watching Herman lose his home or watching the Firehouse struggle to keep the lights on, that resonates with a lot of viewers right now. It's darker, but it might be deeper.
That is a really fair point. It's growing pains. They're trying to figure out what the show looks like in this new era. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, by the way, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Exactly. And with the show in its 14th season, you have to take some risks. If you just keep doing cat-in-the-tree rescues, you get canceled. They're blowing up the formula because they have to.
Well, speaking of blowing things up, if you want to know if Chief Pascal ever actually comes back from North Carolina, make sure you are subscribed to StarScope Report. We're tracking every single contract and casting call.
And we will definitely be doing a follow-up after that crossover in March.
So bringing it all home, what does this all mean for the future of 51?
I think Season 14 is defined by that term we used at the start, tactical realignment. It is a survival season.
For the Firehouse and for the show itself.
Right. The Firehouse is trying to survive the mayor's budget cuts, and the show is trying to survive the network's budget cuts. It's meta upon meta.
It really brings us back to the reality of the industry. Studios are betting that we are addicted to the brand of a show, not the specific actors in it.
They're treating the cast like interchangeable parts. But here's the provocative thought I want to leave you with. For years, we watched Bowden build that Firehouse into a family. Family was the key word.
Absolutely.
Now the chief is gone. The kids, Ritter and Carver, are gone. And you have a new leader, Hopkins, who believes in authority, not family. And on top of that, you have Stella and Kelly, the mom and dad of the house, admitting they aren't okay.
It feels like the family era might be over.
That's the question. Is Firehouse 51 about to lose its identity forever? Can it function as just a workplace, or will it crumble without that emotional core? We might be watching the end of the Chicago Fire we all knew, and the birth of something much colder.
That is a chilling thought to end on, but a necessary one. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.